Hi friends, and welcome back to 4 Acre Homestead. My name is Jennifer, and today I wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. Last week we bought our first chickens, and it was quite an adventure, and I wanted to go over that with you guys and explain what happened and how the process of everything that went along with getting chickens last week. It is super exciting to have the chickens now. It was one of the two things that I really wanted to make sure we tried to establish this year on the homestead. The first one being the garden, which we already got started working on, and the second one was to get some chickens just for egg laying chickens. I think that chickens and gardens really go hand in hand together, and I really want to start those. So the fact that they are now here, as you can hear, is really exciting. I wanted to bring you guys along on the journey of having chickens for the first time. As many of you know, we are brand new to homesteading, so the garden and having chickens were two things that I really wanted to start this year, because I just feel like gardens and chickens just go hand in hand and work so well together. So this is very exciting. I'm going to bring you along on the journey, and I hope that if you guys are starting chicks as well for the first time, we can help each other out. And those of you who have already had chicks and chickens and can help give tips or pointers, please let us know in the comments below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Since I don't know much about chickens at all, but I knew I wanted to have chickens, while we were moving and in between all the moving stuff, I did order this book right here. And I can put a link down below for this book. This is an amazing book. I have followed it so far to a T, and the chicks are doing great, and I will show you that. Again, I don't know much about chickens, and this book has really just walked me through every step of the chicken's life. Even if we wanted to start the chickens from eggs and hatch them ourselves, it's all in here. So again, I will link this down below because it is a great resource. Okay, so before I go and show you our chicks, I wanted to give a little bit of a background of what we were looking for with our chickens. Initially, we decided that we weren't going to raise chicks ourselves at first. We thought that it'd be great to get these chicks that we could order, and they were about 15 to 18 weeks old, basically old enough to go straight out into a coop. Somebody else raise the chicks for us up to that point, and that was what our plan was. So the place that we were going to order them from had different plans. We basically found out that they were sold out before we ever even knew we could order them, and that was a little bit discouraging at first, but it just made us realize that we were meant to raise chicks first, and we weren't gonna let that stop us. So we just did a bunch of research and quickly gathered stuff to create an environment to raise baby chicks in. And honestly, I am so glad that we were kind of pushed in the direction of raising chicks ourselves, because I have loved every second of it, and it's just one more skill that we will have under our belt. Okay, so we are in what is our family formal dining room, I guess you would say. We don't really use it as a dining room. It's more of a game room, homework area, office type situation. And we decided to put our chicks in here because we don't have a garage. We don't really have a shed yet built. So we don't have anything that could keep them safe, warm, and out of the rain other than inside with us. And we don't eat anywhere near here. Again, it's more of just kind of like an office, and they have kind of taken over this office space anyway. So let me show you our little chicks. And here are all of our chicks from the day that we brought them home. And you will see later in the video what even 1 week difference makes in the growth of these little girls. a little bit of story time with how we obtained this many chickens. Initially, I only wanted 4 chickens at most. I figured 4 chickens was going to be enough to handle and to deal with. And on our property, there was a rabbit hutch that we ended up converting into a chicken coop, but it wasn't very big. I mean, it could only house 4 chickens at the most, and that was all we wanted. With that in mind, I did a lot of research on all these different breeds. There's so many breeds of chickens, and I knew what I wanted though. I knew I really wanted to look for some Americanas, Rhode Island Reds. Really, I was looking for gentle chickens that were great with children and very just chill chickens. Since we couldn't get our chickens from the hatchery, we decided to just go to Tractor Supply. They had their chick days, and we were gonna try to do that. So I knew going into Tractor Supply, if I wanted 4, I was gonna maybe get 5. So then if something happened to 1, we would still end up with 4. First lesson learned, don't rush to Tractor Supply on chick days, because somebody has to actually go pick up the chicks first. And then one of the ladies that worked there explained to me that once they come back to the store, they still can't sell them for about 2 hours because they have to get them acclimated and settled in, which I totally understand. And I was like, no big deal. I'm just gonna go run some errands any way that I had to do. I'll be back in about 2 hours. So I pull into the parking lot, and it's definitely a lot busier now and more full. And I start to see people come out with chicks, and I'm thinking, it's just now 10 o'clock, like it must have started selling a little earlier, no big deal, a few people. As I'm walking by the checkout, there's a lady with like 50 chicks that she's purchasing, and I immediately, my anxiety just set in, and like everything I knew about chickens just went out the door. It was chaos in there. They had already started selling a lot of the chickens, and I was panicking because I knew there were certain ones that I wanted that were very popular breeds, and that's why I was trying to get there right when they opened. But I go back to see what they have anyway. One of the guys there was super nice. It was super busy back there, and you know, he asked if I needed help, and he helped me get my chicks. But it was very chaotic. You know, it was I was on one side, he was inside, there were people talking over everybody. I was just really overwhelmed, and I knew I wanted 2 of the Rhode Island Reds because that was one of the breeds that I knew I really wanted, that they still had. And I'm looking around, there's signs, you know, sold out of every other one that I thought I wanted. So I panic bought, and I was like, I'll take 2 Cornish hens, and I'll take 2 of these Brahmas. And I'm like, okay, I got 6 birds, right? Like a little bit more than I wanted, but I got 6 birds. We're gonna go with it. I check out, I get in the car. Driving home, I immediately am like, I think I did something wrong. And, you know, I'm like trying to think like something's not right. I get home, and I tell my husband, you know, here's the chicks we bought. You know, I show him and I explain the ones, and he very so nicely told me I had bought 4 meat birds, basically, on top of our Rhode Island Reds. So I was like, what? No. And then I mean, as soon as he said it, it like clicked in my head. You know, once the anxiety had passed, I was home, it kind of all flooded back, and I was like, oh no, I bought 2 Cornish hens, which are primarily used for meat, and I bought 2 Brahmas, which could go either way, but most of people, at least according online, most people use them for meat. They're not great egg layers, but they will lay some eggs. I think it was like 120 to 180 a year. And as you can see here, we have more than 6 chicks. We ended up getting a bigger brooder set up for them, and
to continue the story saga, there was another Tractor Supply about 30 minutes away, and I decided to go down there to try to see if they had any other egg-laying chickens and not meat birds. And they did. They had these 2 Jersey Black Giants, another Rhode Island Red, and they had a Sapphire Gem. And in Georgia, the law is that you have to purchase 4 at a time. So I ended up with 10 little chicks, and they are all thriving and healthy. As you can see here, they are playing with this little plastic cup that used to house their chick grit in it, and they learned to tip that over, and that the little cup makes noise when they peck at it. So they have all been just playing with the cup, and I'm gonna have to find something else to put their grit in because they just keep playing with it, and it's so cute. So now that we have 10 little chicks here, our plans kind of changed, and we are going to just build a whole new chicken coop that can house all of our chickens, and we will use the one that we converted if we get chickens down the road, or if we need a place to put a hen, if we decide to get a rooster and hatch our own eggs, we'll have that space to use.
Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you will continue to follow along on our chicken journey as we raise these sweet little girls to bigger chickens. And if you want to hit that subscribe button below, you'll be notified of every new video, including updates on this little lady right here. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!